Hello and welcome to the FlexPro YouTube channel. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. And as always, let us know in the comments down below any questions you have. So today, we're going to go into a sweeter of a topic than our last videos. Obviously, we've discussed a lot of the benefits of carbs, top vegetables, pretty much the standard fitness things. But today, we're going to kind of stray off the stereotypical path and take you down an avenue that only Willy Wonka would be thinking of, which would be the top healthy desserts. Now, obviously, the term healthy can be used loosely in this regard. These aren't going to be the highest nutrient density desserts, but they will be sweet, delicious options that you have that won't stray too far from your fitness goals. So without further ado, let's jump into it.
The first one we're making is this raw cookie dough. I'm using some almond flour. You can use blanched or unblanched almond flour, a little bit of vanilla for flavor, a little bit of arrowroot flour, which just helps the texture really make it nice and cookie doughy, but it is optional. So if you don't have arrowroot, you can leave it out. A touch of maple syrup just for a little bit of sweetness, and then a little bit of almond butter. You can also use any kind of nut or seed butter that you want here. And this is great because it's loaded with healthy fats. It's super satisfying. It's gonna balance your blood sugar. It's loaded with vitamin E, and all of those nuts have so many great minerals in it for you. Magnesium, zinc, phosphorus, all those things that your body needs. So we're gonna go ahead and combine it until the dough is nice and soft. And then to that, I'm just gonna be adding in a little bit of chocolate chips. So I use a scant tablespoon, and I'm just folding that in until everything is nice and combined. And depending on how runny your nut butter is, it will depend on how quickly it comes together. But you have this wonderful, decadent cookie dough. It comes together in less than a minute and tastes so good. Next up, we're making instant chocolate strawberries. So I'm starting off by making some paleo chocolate with some coconut oil and some cashew butter. Again, you can use any kind of nut or seed butter that you like here. And then to that, I'm going to be adding in some raw cacao. And the great thing about this is that raw cacao is loaded with antioxidants. And especially because we're not heating this up or baking it or anything, we still get all those wonderful minerals, especially magnesium, and the antioxidants that's in the cacao. So I stir that together until everything is nice and combined. Make sure you do use warm coconut oil. It'll just be a lot easier to mix than trying to mix coconut oil that's a little bit more solid. So just stir that together until it is nice and smooth. And then the secret to making instant chocolate strawberries is to use frozen strawberries. So when you pour this nice warm melted chocolate over the strawberries, it hardens like almost instantly, and they like are covered and they're perfect. You can wait for the strawberries to thaw for about 5-10 minutes and then pour the chocolate on, or pour the chocolate on and then wait about 5 minutes. But either way, it's so delicious, and it's kind of cool, but it's got this wonderful chocolate shell. It's so decadent, and you can definitely do it with almost any fruit. And then as you can see, once they thaw a little bit, honestly, they thaw in just a few minutes, you have these wonderfully chocolate covered strawberries that are instant to make, delicious, and easy too.
So if you've never made chia pudding before, essentially it just is chia seeds and some sort of liquid, stirring them together, and then it turns into a gel, and then you can add any flavors that you want. So that is what we're going to be doing here. We're doing 3 tablespoons of chia per serving and 3/4 cups of liquid per serving, and then swapping things in and out for different flavor profiles. So let's go ahead and dive into our recipes. The first one is going to be banana bread. We're going to start with half of a banana that we are going to mash in our bowl. To that, you'll add your chia seeds and some cinnamon. And for this, you can get the black chia seeds and the cinnamon on iHerb. And then top that with almond milk or whatever unsweetened milk you'd like. Give it a stir until everything is combined, and let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes until it thickens up. Once it's thickened up, you can give it a stir, and if it's too thick, you can add a splash more of liquid if you need it. And then we will assemble our chia pudding. So we're going to start by adding some chia pudding in the bottom. Then I like to do a layer of banana. Then I do the rest of the pudding, do another layer of banana, top it with some crushed up walnuts. And these walnuts are actually raw walnuts that I get on iHerb. They're a great price, and they are the perfect addition to this one. And that's the banana bread. And what's great about this one is it doesn't use any extra sweetener. Our second flavor is going to be lemon raspberry. We are actually going to be using white chia seeds in this recipe just because I think it looks really pretty. So we'll add our white chia seeds into the bowl, followed by some maple syrup and some lemon zest. And of course your milk. And for our ingredients in this one, you can get the white chia seeds and the maple syrup on iHerb. And then you'll stir that together until it's combined, set it aside, let it gel for about 10 to 15 minutes. Once it's thickened up, it should look a little bit like this. Again, if it's too thick, add a splash more liquid if you'd like. And then to start this, we are going to actually mash up some fresh raspberries into the bottom of our serving container, whatever you're using. So it's about 1/4 cup of mashed raspberries. And then I like to do the layer of the lemon chia pudding. And then to finish this recipe off, we will add on some more fresh raspberries and garnish it with some lemon zest. And that just gives it a little bit of brightness. And what I love about this one, it's really tart and tangy, and it just kind of tastes like fresh and delicious. Our third one is a vanilla coconut cashew. We're gonna start with our black chia seeds. Then we're gonna add some maple syrup. We're also gonna add some vanilla extract. And then we're gonna use some full fat coconut milk. And here you can get all 4 of these ingredients on iHerb. Stir it together and let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes until it thickens up nicely. If you do want to reduce the calorie of this, you could just use light coconut milk instead of full fat coconut milk. Once it's thickened, give it a quick stir, and then you will place it into your jar. And to top, I like to do some raw cashew butter. Again, I get this on iHerb. It's the Artisana brand. I'll link it below. And finish it off with some coconut flakes. And this one is actually pretty basic, but it tastes so good. You could totally add some fresh berries or something if you wanted some fresh fruit, but it is really, really, really delicious and really full of healthy fats, so it's nice and filling. Our fourth one is going to be our chai spiced chia pudding. We're going to start with black chia seeds as well as some coconut sugar. And then the spices that we're using are cinnamon, ginger, cloves, cardamom, and nutmeg. And you'll just add that directly into the bowl. And you'll finish it off with your milk of choice. Again, you can get the spices, the coconut sugar, and the chia seeds all on iHerb. And once it's all stirred together, just like the other 3 that you've seen so far, just set it aside and let it gel. And you actually can do this overnight if you want to make it the night before. Once it has sat, you can stir it together and it should be all nice and thick. Then you'll just transfer that into your jars or your jar, whatever serving container you're using. And then to finish it off, we're going to do some raw almond butter, but you could use any of the nut butters that you can find on iHerb. They have a huge selection. And then we're also going to do some chopped up pecans, and just to finish it off, make it look pretty, a little stick of cinnamon. And this actually, the longer it sits, it infuses more in the chia pudding. And I swear this tastes like a chai latte. It is delicious. And then our fifth recipe is going to be our dark chocolate chia pudding. We're going to add black chia seeds into our bowl, top that with some raw cacao powder, as well as some maple syrup and our almond milk. And again, you can get all of those dry ingredients on iHerb. Give it a quick stir. This one you might want to use a whisk for, just to get all of the cacao powder balls or clumps, I guess, evenly incorporated into the mixture. Once you have it evenly incorporated though, you can just again set it aside and let it all gel and come together. It should take about 10 or 15 minutes. Once it's gelled, give it a quick stir to make sure it's evenly combined, and then we'll transfer it into our jars. And for topping, I really like to do something creamy, so I did a dollop or 2 of coconut yogurt, and then I finished it off with something crunchy. In this case, we're going to do chopped hazelnuts, as well as some mini chocolate chips. But just check out the iHerb grocery section, and you can get a ton of different topping ideas there. And this one's great because it tastes like dessert, and who doesn't love chocolate for breakfast, right?
Raise your hand if you've been craving sweets. I know I have, and I know I see all these baked goods everywhere. So today I want to share with you 3 super easy, high protein mug cakes that are sweet and delicious and filling, and they're made with all real ingredients that are good for you, so you can eat them, get rid of that craving, and then move on with your life. So a lot of us are craving carbs right now. We see all these baked goods that look delicious on YouTube and Instagram, and it can really make you start craving those carbs, especially in times of stress like we're all in right now. But the problem with with most baked goods that we're seeing that look so delicious is that they're full of unhealthy fats, unhealthy sugars, and refined flours. And we don't want any of that. But fortunately, we can easily replace all of that with these easy protein mug cakes. So let's get started. So the awesome thing about mug cakes is that you can make an individual portion. They take less than 3 minutes to cook in the microwave, and you have hardly any cleanup. Plus, you can easily sub out a lot of the flours with protein powder, making each one of these mug cakes I'm gonna share with you today at least 30 grams of protein. So first off, you know we gotta start with a chocolate protein mug cake. If you're craving brownies and chocolate cakes and just chocolate in general, this is definitely gonna hit the spot. So we're gonna grab a microwave safe mug and we're going to grease the inside with a little bit of coconut oil. If you don't wanna use coconut oil, you can always use a little bit of unsalted grass-fed butter. Then go ahead and set that aside. Now in a small mixing bowl, we're gonna combine all of our ingredients. We're gonna start with 2 scoops of protein powder. That's gonna be the chocolate protein powder. Not all protein powders are created equal. I really like the Naked Nutrition brand for my protein. It's very low in added flavors and chemicals, and it's just a really good high quality whey protein. But choose whatever protein you want. We're gonna need about 1/4 cup of it, which for me is 2 scoops. Followed by some coconut sugar, coconut flour, dark cocoa powder, a little bit of baking powder. Then we're gonna stir all this together using a whisk or a spoon or a fork. Your milk of choice, I use unsweetened almond milk, but any milk will work for this, and a large egg. You could sub your large egg with some extra egg whites, or you could also use a flax egg if you are vegan. Then we're gonna whisk all this together until it's nicely mixed. And then we're gonna pour that into our mug. Now, if you wanted a vanilla mug cake, you would just not add in any dark cocoa powder, and you would just replace your chocolate protein powder with vanilla protein powder. So this recipe is really easy to make either chocolate or vanilla mug cakes, which is cool. We're gonna transfer our mug carefully to the microwave, and we're gonna microwave on high for 60 to 90 seconds. We're gonna look for the mug cake to actually start growing in the microwave, so it's a good idea to watch it. And then when it starts to fall back down after it's already reached its highest level, that's when you know that it's fully cooked and you can stop the microwave. I love the combination of peanut butter with chocolate, so I love adding a little bit of natural peanut butter on top of my chocolate mug cakes, and then I dig in. This is so rich and so delicious. If you are not as big of a chocolate fan, or if you're craving some tart lemon, this recipe is for you. We're gonna be making a lemon protein mug cake using fresh lemons, and it just takes a few ingredients. Prep your mug the exact same way with your coconut oil or unsalted butter, and then set that aside. Then in a mixing bowl, we're gonna combine 2 scoops of vanilla protein powder, which is roughly 1/4 cup of protein powder, followed by some coconut sugar, coconut flour, baking powder. Then we're gonna stir all this together. Your milk of choice, 1 egg, and some fresh lemon zest. This zest is very important because it's gonna add a ton of flavor. And some freshly squeezed lemon juice. If you're out of lemons, you could also use lemon extract. Then we're gonna stir all that together and then transfer it into our prepared mug. Place it in the microwave for 60 to 90 seconds. And remember, we're looking for the mug cake to start to fall back down after it rises. It's gonna get super high at first, and then it'll fall back down a little bit. That's when you know it's done. So I love having like a lemon icing whenever I have lemon baked goods. So I'm gonna quickly make a Greek yogurt topping to put on top of this lemon mug cake. So in a small bowl, just combine some full-fat Greek yogurt, a little bit more lemon zest, and either some pure maple syrup or some raw honey, and then just mix that together, and it is just the perfect topping for this mug cake. So if you love carrot cake, you're gonna love this mug cake. We're gonna be making a homemade single serving protein carrot cake mug cake, and it's high in protein. It's basically a smaller version of the carrot cake I have on my blog, and I also have a video for that if you wanna check it out. It's really easy to make, and let me show you. Go ahead and prep your mug the same way with the coconut oil, and then set that aside. And then in a small mixing bowl, we're gonna combine our protein powder. I'm using vanilla protein powder, followed by some coconut sugar, coconut flour, baking powder, some ground cinnamon. Then we're gonna stir all this together. Gonna add in some freshly grated carrots, an egg, and some milk, and then we're gonna mix that together really well. Transfer that to the mug, and then we're gonna place this in the microwave. You know the drill, 60 to 90 seconds until it starts to fall back down. And then on this one, I also like to add a little bit of a topping. I add just a little bit of Greek yogurt for that little bit of bite, because icing and carrot cake just seem to go together. And then I top it with some raisins. You don't have to add the raisins if you don't want to. I know some people are particular about raisins. I love them, and they add a little bit of sweetness, so they are really good in this mug.
Well, there there you have it, guys. A little bit of sweetness on this Friday. If you have any other dessert recipes that you just absolutely adore, let us know in the comments, and hopefully we can bring them to life on our menu. If you haven't already, be sure to try out our power treats. They are peanut butter based and some cream cheese based, so that gives you a little bit of that cheesecake-esque flavoring. So if you have a bit of a sweet tooth, we recommend you check those out. You can just go to www.flexpro.com, or you can hit the link down in the description, and that'll save you quite a bit of money. Just want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video this week, and have an absolutely amazing weekend. We'll catch you guys soon.